Hey everybody, good morning. This is actually the first words of the day. It is about 6:30 in the morning right now. And let me tell you how this podcast thing works. I have to kind of be like inspired to talk. When I did Motherland, it was like we had topics, we kind of knew where we were going. It was great, it was fun, but a lot of times I think I get my best content when I'm just rambling. I mean, I really honestly wish you guys could hear my day-to-day conversations because there's so moments in my day where I am just like, oh my God, this would be the best podcast. This would be the best topic because I'll be talking about some off the wall stuff. The other part is that it's 6:30 in the morning and I'm recording a podcast. This is also the time that I am the most inspired. I wake up in the morning with 10 billion ideas. And it's like, okay, Isabel, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. But it takes me so long to get up out of bed. And by the time I get out of bed, I am so overwhelmed with what I just have to do for the day that all those ideas go on the back burner and it sucks. But what can I say? So today I was like, I really got to do this podcast episode because I told you guys I was going to do a podcast episode. And so here I am. So this is the second one of, I think, like season 4. And thank you guys for your response back of just for all the feedback I've gotten on the first episode, which was only like really short to like get me out there again. You guys responded really well, saying that you guys love listening to me and you love just hearing me. So thank you. So it's sort of weird, but yeah. All right, let's catch up and then we're going to go into today's topic. I think today we're really going to talk about intuition because intuition has been something that, well, one, it's a huge part of my life because it's what I do all day long. Whether I'm life coaching, I'm using my intuition. My life, I'm using my intuition. And I think the closer you become to me, whether you're a friend, family, acquaintance, I don't know, you're going to start using your intuition more. And there's been so many things that have been happening in the last month just based on intuition and things that are just being like handed to me. I say that because I think learning how to navigate my intuition, I have learned to kind of see like when the universe is like, here you go. And there's an opportunity in front of you and you just have to like run with it. So this month alone, started a little entertainment group. It's Ryan and me, but I started an entertainment group and we have our first events at the end of May. So if you're in San Diego, LA, OC, come check us out. We're going to be doing a brunch at CeeLo Rooftop Lounge, May 25th. And then May 31st, we have a club night at Day and Night. And that's going to be around 10 p.m. So May 31st. So both of these things are going to be really fun. You guys follow me on Instagram and you'll see our entertainment group is called Downtown Underground. So we're going to be putting on different events. The brunch is like 90s R&B, hip hop, 90s music, and then R&B and hip hop from today. And then the day and night is like coast to coast music. So stuff from the South comes, stuff from the East, stuff from the West, stuff you just don't hear often. I love music. And it's crazy because like back in the day when I was a kid, I used to put on these events and they would go off. We would put on big freestyle battles and DJ battles, and we had a lot of fun. You can kind of tell the generation I grew up in. This is like when, Wu-Tang was like going off, and so everybody was trying to freestyle, but it was a really good time, and I think it was something I was really good at. I got into the clubs at a really young age because the guy that I dated was a DJ in the clubs. And so I'd go and like set up and do a lot of stuff there. So I just feel like I've seen a lot of things, and it's weird how life has presented itself again with this opportunity. But this time I'm an adult, and this time I have a lot more contacts, and a lot of those people that were just starting out back in the day are now actually doing really well and have made a name for themselves. So it's exciting to like make contact with them again and do this work again and just see where it goes. My intuition, which is today's topic, is it's going to go really good. Like, I feel like it's going to go really, really well. And I'm really excited about it. So you guys need to go and follow us on Instagram. You guys need to like tap in, support us, give me shout outs, give us love, because you can be like, I knew them when they were just this little. We're not little kids, the way I said that, this little. Anyways, back to that. So that's kind of been like my thing in the last like couple weeks. And I think people are like, what are you doing? Like, do you even life coach anymore? And it's like, yeah, I life coach, but life coaching is my job. And it's something that I'm honestly going to say I'm really good at. Being a psychic is something I'm also very good at. But again, there's a lot of different elements to me. And with the way the world is working right now on the energy of flow, it's about letting yourself not get stuck in a box, but just flowing. I talked about this last episode. So that's what I'm doing. I'm flowing. But one of the things that always stays consistent with me is my intuition, is learning to trust my intuition on knowing when something's right and not right. And the thing with intuition is it doesn't always make logical sense, which is so hard because as a human, right, we want to put everything in a context that we can just really understand it. And we have to learn how to like trust what just feels right versus what we think we know is right. Ooh, I love that. So knowledge, like intuition, is actually like your knowledge or your sense of knowing without any kind of background, with any kind of rational thought, right? And it's kind of comes from this in-depth part of you. Now, psychologists will go back and say that intuition is based on your past experiences and it's based on all this neurotransmitters that have connected all these dots, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go down that way, even though I freaking am a nerd that loves to talk science. I'm going to go off the fact that I've been doing this job for, oh my God, I'm starting to lose count for how long I've been doing this job. I always like to say far before it was trendy, because we didn't have social media like this when I started the job. We did, but it wasn't like it is now, which is a freaking monster. It just was. So anyways, intuition is a sense of, it comes from this inner part of you that I feel uses every one of your senses, right? At times it makes your heart rush. And yes, can get mixed in with anxiety, which is a different topic, but intuition is quick. It makes you kind of light up inside. It makes you pull forward, like this invisible string is pulling you forward and you have no idea where it's going to take you, but you know you have to follow. It just feels right without an explanation, and you know somehow an explanation isn't needed. And even if you find that explanation, it's not going to give enough words to what you are really feeling and where you're going. And you just know it's going to be okay. Then you're like, people ask, how do you know the difference between your intuition and your gut, right? I kind of want to say at times they're often the same, but a gut feeling can sometimes be a little bit different, because a gut feeling can often reflect what we already know, right? It kind of has this inner side of like, well, my gut's telling me to do this. Well, your gut's probably telling you to do that because it comes from a knowledge base. It comes from this other part of you. But I honestly like to say intuition and gut feeling simultaneously. So I will use intuition, the word intuition, the same as I will use the word gut feeling. The thing that you have to understand when it comes to your intuition, people are like, well, what does it look like? Okay, you have to go way back in like my first season. I talk about all the clairs. I talk about clairsentience, clairaudient, claircognizance, clairvoyance, right? The ability to see, the ability to just know, the ability to just feel, and the ability to just hear. And either way, these are all your senses, right? But intuition grows based on your trust within yourself. I don't care which ability you have. It's based on how much do you trust yourself and how much do you know yourself. So it really begins with this sense of self-awareness. But like I've told you guys before, we've all learned how to just kind of shut off our self-awareness. We've all learned how to like ignore inner voice. We've all learned how to not trust ourselves. And because that's what society has given us. That's what our parental parental people have given us, right? Is this sense of like, you are not safe to trust yourself unless you have all of this logic laid out. And I just think that's not how life works. There's going to be so many opportunities that you have in life where you're just going to be like, fuck it. This doesn't make any fucking logical sense, but I'm going to fucking do it. And here I am. My life, honestly, makes no fucking sense. None. If you look back at my life, I talked about it before, I left a very secure marriage. I had everything because that's not where my heart was, but I knew there was something more. And I think in a sense that I still know right now that there is something more as far as like my career goes, as far as like the dreams that I'm chasing. And there isn't a sense of logic. I laugh because my friends will always say, your life makes no sense, but it always works out for you. You make choices that others wouldn't make, but it makes sense and it works for you, because the reason is because I know that inner sense of knowing so well that you can't talk me out of it. And yeah, if things feel off, they're not for me. I'm done. But I say all of this going back in a sense that it really begins with a sense of having a sense of self-awareness. And self-awareness is really about knowing who you are as an individual, right? So this is like your actions, your personality, your thoughts, your beliefs, and you know yourself so well. You know yourself so well that it's fuck it. Honestly, it's a sense of just fuck it. That's really what it is. It's not something that you're like, oh my God, this is just who I am. And I know myself well. And if you don't fucking fit in this box, then fuck you. No, it's just like, I know myself so well that if you don't fit in this box, fuck it, because I'm just comfortable with being my personality. I'm comfortable with showing who I am. I know that you and me aren't the same, and that's okay. I know all of these things. You want to know something really interesting though? I'm going to give you a little fact. Hence me going to college and everything. Hence me taking child development classes. There are studies that says your sense of self-awareness usually emerges around the age of 1. And then by 18 months, you kind of have it. Now, I want you to pause and think about what your life was around 1 to 18 months. I know a lot of you guys are like, I can't remember. But if you come from a jacked up childhood, you're going to remember. And I say that because that childhood shapes who we are in the sense of our self-awareness, but so does like our adulthood, right? So does our adulthood. Because my adulthood was freaking effed, and I don't know if I would say my childhood was effed. I think it was just like, it was what it was. Like people would look back and they'd be like, damn, your childhood was like fucked. But it really wasn't. Like, I feel like I had a really good, like sturdy life. Like I had good set people in my life that really supported me. My grandparents won. My mom and my dad were there in their own separate ways. But like, yeah, I could say it was really fucked, but I also could say it really wasn't. It was just my life. I think it's just the way that you look at it, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, I'm kind of like, blah, 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 blah. So self-awareness, FYI, you really need to do that. And you really need to learn how to like trust yourself and navigate yourself and understand yourself. Because at the end of the day, your intuition really keeps you safe. It's really a good sense of, this just doesn't fit, and stop making it try to fit in the freaking bubble. That is like the story of my clients' fucking lives. I swear to God, you guys are always trying to make something work, even when it just doesn't feel right. I don't know how many times I jump into session with you guys and it's like, I'm still with him, or I'm still with her, or I'm really trying to make this job right. But you know deep down inside that this is never going to work. you know, deep down inside, this is not where you're supposed to be, but logic is telling you, or I've invested all these years, so I got to stay. And it's like, what are you guys doing? And how long are you going to ignore it? Because your intuition will never go away. I'm going to be that. That's like the honest to God truth. It's never going to go away. It will find ways to reappear and to reappear and to reappear. Here's an idea, not an idea. Here's a thought. Example, actually. So this isn't based on relationships. I can give one based on relationships, actually. Let's do relationships. My last relationship, it was like, I knew that relationship was not going to work. I did. I wanted it to work because I had vested time in it. I wanted it to work because everyone told me it wasn't going to work. I wanted it to work just to prove people wrong and all this different stuff. But it was not good. Like, it wasn't good in the sense that there was a lot of fighting, there was arguing. It was toxic. And I think we get stuck in these toxic relationships because we're trying to prove something. I guess my question is, who are we trying to prove it to? Are we trying to prove it to others? Because honestly, if you really have that sense of self-awareness we talked about, then you wouldn't fucking care what others think. Are you trying to prove it to yourself because you think I'm a good person? Like, who are you trying to prove it to? My intuition told me it was off, but I spent longer in that relationship than I should have to try to prove my intuition wrong. Like, that doesn't even make sense when I say it out loud. But that is literally what all of you guys do every single day. And there's such like this sense of just like, oh my God, I can breathe. Like, when I tell you I dropped weight, when I tell you I aged backwards, when I tell you that I stepped into a whole sense of wholeness I didn't even know was fucking there, that's what fucking happened. And that's what I watch my clients do. And it is so cool. Like, I light up inside watching people do that, like going, oh my gosh, I didn't even know this sense of me existed. But in reality, that sense of you has always existed. You just didn't let them exist. Does that make sense? Anyways, I guess like, I don't even know what I was talking about. That always happens when I do these podcasts. It's like I start rambling about one thing and then I go off and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, you guys, follow your freaking intuitions, because if you don't, it'll lead to toxicity in relationships, because I really do feel that. It will lead to confusion in your own life. You will, I don't know. It just will keep coming up for you. Oh, that's what I was going to say. So with us doing these events, right, it was like there was a portion, and I love you guys that are like, follow me on TikTok. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram, because TikTok is going away, which really sucks. And I don't want to go down the rabbit hole right now. But when I was going to LA, which I still do go to LA often, when I was in LA at one point, it was like I was meeting so many amazing people, like every single time and I still meet amazing people every single time. But this one was like, there was musicians, there was producers, there was creatives, there was photographers. And it just felt like everybody was just falling in my lap. Like, I literally would be at a place just ordering food and then start a conversation with somebody and they're like, oh, I'm a photographer for like Nike. And I'm like, what? And then we're trading info. And it was just, there was so much of this that was like one after another that I remember going, there's something here. Like, there has to be something here. And I couldn't quite figure it out, other than I think I meant to work with these type of individuals, which I do work with a lot of creatives and artists and entrepreneurs to really go out there in the world and like showcase themselves. That's what I do. And I love that, because you guys are freaking badasses. But then I came to San Diego and I started meeting a lot of people and creatives in San Diego, and the same thing. And I'm like, this is like, there's something bigger here. And hence now we are exactly where we are. We're making events, and I see these events really taking off, like I already said. And I'm trying not to put all of my, business on the table, but my intuition says it's going to, like I already said already, it's going to go well. and it probably is going to go on to bigger and better things. And yeah, my intuition has told me a lot about not only that, but the quality of people that I'm supposed to be working with. Yeah, I said quality. I have to be honest on a side note. I love my job. I really do. But there's a part of me that's like, I'm so exhausted with the repetitive little questions of, is he going to call me? Does he love me? Blah, 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 blah. It's like, right, guides, I can hear the guides going, what's your intuition tell you? Like, as far as like when people ask that. I like working with individuals that are like, oh my God, I'm going to share my gift with the world in whatever shape way that is to get you guys out there. Or, trying to make dynamic career moves, or understand like, should I do this or should I do that? Or even relationship, but in a deeper sense, not like the little questions like, does Bobby, think I'm cute? I'm not lying. I get like that. And it's just like, I don't know, the fuck Bobby thinks you're cute. And why are you so worried if Bobby thinks you cute? Like, why? I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like I never looked at somebody and wondered if they thought I was cute, but I know who I am. And so it's like, I don't need you to tell me I'm cute, because I just know who I am. And if you fuck with it, you fuck with it. If you don't, you don't. And that's it. We're going to have to do a whole like conversation about that, because I know when I've talked to you guys on TikTok about how like to get someone's attention, what you do energetically and how it works. And when you know yourself well and how you hold yourself, like it's a whole different like freaking game changer. I really think, I didn't know what this episode was going to be like, but I like spilling you guys a little bit of my tea, and you guys like my tea. You guys like my tea, and I'm getting better at like opening up my stuff. That was like, you guys ask, I don't want to share too much about my personal relationships, because they evolve and they change, and I like to give them the privacy to grow. But I feel like I give you guys a lot, especially on social media. And, this one, current moment status, is a lot on intuition, and it's a lot of just, it feels right. That's it. Here we are. That's all I can say. Anyways, I want to know, like, how does your intuition show up for you? Like, honestly, you guys, I want to know in the DMs. I want to know, send me a DM, comment here on this video. How does your intuition show up to you? What is it that, stands in your way of you listening to your intuition? What does that look like for you? You can grow, like I said, the more you trust your intuition, the more you learn to listen to it, you can grow. It can get better. I'm like, I can hear the guides being like, what does your intuition feel like? Like I said, it's this feeling that just doesn't go away. It's a feeling that feels right without any explanation. Sometimes maybe it's in the pit of your stomach. It's when you get chills throughout your body, or your hairs on your neck stand up. I think the biggest, like I said, is when things just don't make sense, but it's right. Right? And I really want to say, I feel like the need, whoever's listening right now, if something or a situation is making you doubt yourself, if something is making you uneasy or suspicious, if something feels off but you can't understand why, you guys don't disregard it. Like, really lean into it. Lean into it. And I know that a lot of times you guys are like, well, maybe I'm overthinking or overanalyzing, or blah, 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 blah. Intuition doesn't really tell you, here's an idea. Intuition isn't like, you need to do A, B, C, D, and E. It's like a feeling. All right. So I'm just going to tell you that when you're overthinking, it tends to be like, you need to do A, B, C, D, and E. Right. And overthinking is usually this repetitive, it's unproductive. It's you worrying about the future. It's you maybe worrying about the past. It's all these kind of like, hence the word worry, right? But intuition feels comfortable. It feels safe. It feels free. It's not usually a sense. It's not you worrying. It's not you worrying. But it's a process. It's a process that you have to learn, like I said, to really like trust yourself. It's a process to learn how to acknowledge yourself and how to see yourself and to grow in yourself. Anyways, I guess that's it for today. I really just wanted to tap in with you guys and talk. I didn't really have too much yet. I think next time is going to be a little bit spicier. I almost want to be like, oh, this kind of episode was a little bit boring. Can I say that about my own podcast? I mean, I love you guys, but I love when I have like some random story like, oh my God, you wouldn't believe what happened. But I really don't really have that right now. It's just really crazy because, like I said, I wanted to talk about intuition only because I was just thinking recently, like how crazy my life is. Like the fact that I am doing events, the fact that, you know, just the way that I live my life on a daily basis. And I think whoever lives their life with me or beside me, whether friends or relationships, they feel it too. Life can happen really fast with me, and you either jump on the train or you jump off, because I've definitely been with people that can't handle the speed that my life moves when things feel right. And I'm here for it. I just heard Spirit say it can be kind of intimidating. I don't know if that's true. I mean, Spirit said it, but I don't know if that's necessarily like a true thing. I was saying the other day, like I think I was on like social media, and I was like, dude, my life would be like the craziest reality show. My life would be this craziest reality show. It'd be fun. It'd be a fun show. But it'd be crazy. Anyways, all right, guys, I will seriously talk to you later. Really ask yourself, like, what in your life are you not listening to? What in your life are you not trusting yourself? Where are you not really leaning in? And thank you guys. Honestly, make sure you guys subscribe to this podcast, please. Make sure you guys rate it and leave a review, because those ratings, those reviews, and those subscriptions keep us moving up. Also, make sure you guys, what was I going to say? See, I lost it. Make sure you guys also follow me on Instagram, because like I said, I just don't, TikTok it really sucks what's going to happen over there. That was such a beautiful platform that has really given me the opportunity to meet so many of you guys and to grow and to be seen. And it sucks that they're taking it. It'll be back, but I just don't think it's going to be back in the same way. I don't. It's going to come back with regulations and rules, and it's just going to be not fun. Anyways, we'll talk later. Hit up those events if you're in San Diego. The links are everywhere in my bios all over the world. I say that because all over the world, it's like they're on Instagram, they're on TikTok. Yeah, come say hi to me. All right, we'll talk to you later. Bye.